Hey guys, and welcome back to the BS of Society. So, in this video, I kind of wanted to compare Girls Front Line and Azur Lane. Before I continue, I want to apologize if there's a lot of static in this video. Every single time I hold my phone sideways, there always seems to be a lot of static, and I think my microphone is actually at the bottom down here. You probably just heard me tap it by accident. But anyways, so you have your similarities in Girls Front Line. Yeah, you have your cubes, you have your coins, you have your resources, you have your T-Doll contracts, your equipment contracts. Like, both of these two are basically the same thing, right? You have your retirement where you basically retire basically rares and up, and you get a resource that allows you to, for Girls Front Line, it allows you to dummy link. For Azur Lane, it basically allows you to go to the exchange shop and get certain things, right? You have that. You have limited space. You can go and buy space. Both of them are basically the same way like that, right? And both of them have a similar problem where you don't get a lot of gems. And actually, I probably should have hit on Azur Lane a little bit more than Girls Front Line. But I think the reason why I didn't hit on Azur Lane as much is because if you go to the guild down here and you go to tech, you can level these things up. Okay? Now, I believe there's basically an individual level, and then there's the guild level. Now, the guild level allows you to increase your dock space by another 20. Not counting your own levels, which basically right now the maximum that I could go up to is basically 24 dock slots. Okay? Now, of course, I purchased more slots, but basically, you get 174 slots for free. Now, notice that I actually have less dock space on Azur Lane than I do for T-Doll slots on Girls Front Line. Okay? Because I have 500 T-Doll slots here. Now, you may be asking, why do I have more space in Girls Front Line? Especially since you have less unique units in Girls Front Line than you do Azur Lane. Because in Azur Lane, you have 500 some odd units that are all unique? 550? And I don't think that's including collabs. So you basically have the same thing in Girls Front Line, but it's basically 300 units. So why do I have more space in Girls Front Line than I do in Azur Lane? It's simple. Azur Lane, you are probably less likely to level up multiple units together with the exception of the dorm and the academy. And the reason why I say that is because, one, you only get so many booleans at a time. Per week, you can get one of these from, the weekly quests and 3 of these from the weekly quests. And then you have your shops to give you more. Okay, so the chances of you getting a lot of them isn't going to be very likely, right? So basically meaning it'd probably be more preferable so that way you're not pulling your hair out to basically work on one ship at a time. That's why I have so many units, because I've only been working on Aiko, aka Z23, aka Nimi, the entire time. Okay? She's the only one that I've leveled up to 120. Everybody else I've just been leveling up to level 70 as of recently. Okay? Just because going up to level 70 doesn't require limit breaks. Right? And the reason why you want to work on one ship at a time is because of oil conservation. In Girls Front Line, I remember watching Sia level up one of his echelons, 4 units that haven't been leveled up using just 416. So which means Girls Front Line, you could theoretically farm 4 units at a time on a single team. Okay? Now, keep in mind that that's 4 units getting farmed together. Okay? Not individually. In most gacha games, farming an individual unit usually takes maybe 1 to 2 months, depending on how many resources you're using at once. Especially for free-to-play players, usually about 1 to 2 months. If it's Mihoyo, probably 3, right? So you're getting 4 units done at a time, okay? Now, imagine if you're working on multiple echelons like I am. Okay, really, I've been more actively farming in like the past 2 months, and I was kind of not really playing as much the previous 3. And then the first month, I was kind of getting used to Girls Frontline, and then I kind of stopped playing because I was storing up resources, right? So when you think about it, these units have actually gotten pretty far because I pretty much stopped when they got to level 40. Level 30 to 40, right? So I would say I've probably gotten about a third of their XP since I started farming. Okay. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but you figure if you're going to get units done, 6 echelons done within about 6 months, that's 30 units. If you do the math, that's basically 18 months and you're done with your 100 slots. You could do another 9, sure, but you're basically done at that point. Unless you increase your slot space. Now, keep in mind that Girls Frontline also has, they also have you buy echelon slots. You only start off with 4 echelon slots. So, I think you get like 30 gems for initially S ranking the normal and emergency stages. Okay. At least 30, right? So you basically figure you probably get enough gems to buy all of those echelon slots and maybe even your dorm slots as well. Now, as a free-to-play player, I would actually suggest just ignoring the dorms and buying more TDL slots, especially if you're like me where you just want to play more. Okay. Now, Girls Frontline also gives you additional gems per month. Okay, that's 210. And if you use Twitter and Facebook, you also get this initial 30. I personally don't use Twitter or Facebook, so I'm not getting those additional gems. That's why it hasn't been shared yet. Okay. While Azur Lane doesn't really give you gems on a regular basis, okay, you do get gems every now and then in the mail if maintenance goes over too much. Okay. And I'm just curious if I have any. I don't think I have any available at the moment. But, I did see them show up at one time here as well. Actually, I wonder if that one would have been it right there. Where was that 5 attachment reward right here? Nope, never mind. Right? So, because basically what you get in Azur Lane is basically just a bunch of wisdom cubes for your monthly login, which, again, is okay, but eventually I'm not going to need all those pulls, especially if you're a free-to-play player where you're limited on space. Right? So, while you do get gems in Girls Frontline to eventually increase your slot space, and if you're working on 2 echelons at a time, you might be fine. Right? I would say by the time you get your 2 echelons done, assuming you're working on 2 at a time, you'll probably have enough to get your TDOL slots. But if you're wanting to max out your echelons and work on more echelons at a time, you're quickly going to find yourself finishing your TDOLs before you get more slots. Which basically is where fairies and coalition units come in, because they're basically your saviors at that point. Right? Because now you also have them to work on as well. But basically, if you're a player like me, the moment you're done farming, you quit. I'm not waiting for... Okay, I have more tickets, right? But if I don't have a means to be able to spend them because I'm out of slots, sorry, I'm just going to quit. And if I can't get TDOLs within those tickets either, I'm going to quit. If I'm out of space, I'm not going to be pulling anymore. Which means, oh wait, I need to get units out of the gacha system, but I'm done farming, so I quit. That is my number 1 rule in gacha games. The moment I'm done farming, I quit. That goes for this, that goes for Azur Lane, that goes for Arknights, that goes for Honky, that goes for all of them. And the reason for that is so that way when you have bad rates like Genshin Impact, or you have bad monetization systems like Girls Frontline, I can get through them by just not playing the game anymore. I love the game, I really do, but that is basically my biggest gripe. Okay, another thing that a lot of gacha games annoy the living hell out of me with is one simple thing: equipment. Azure Lane, you do not have to gotcha pull for equipment. Okay? Not only that, but you see my space right there? 261? Okay? Let me equip this fighter jet to Centaur right here. And you'll quickly notice that my depot space is down to 260. Okay, you start off with 300. Now, you can buy additional space in the, for the depot, but it's not really necessary because the slots just get rid of themselves. Okay? So that is a case where it's not necessary. Okay? But dock expansion you do need. Now, I believe when they do give gyms, you get like 100 at a time. So basically all you need is 2 updates to get an additional 10 slots. Okay, and you figure both Azure Lane and Girls for Online pretty much have a maintenance every week, right? So you don't have to wait an entire month and a half just to get more slots. Okay, theoretically, that is. Technically speaking, I think I've only gotten 1 set of gyms since I started playing Azure Lane, which was basically before the Idolmaster event. But again, your units also go further. So by the time you are done with your 10 units, you likely have the gems already. Probably even more than what you need. So which means you also have enough to maybe buy a promise ring or maybe buy an outfit. Oh, and speaking of outfits, you see the base costs for these outfits right here? Okay? I'm trying to find one without an oath ring. Right? So that one right there is probably your cheapest. Now look at these gem prices, okay? Don't look at the double values. Just look at the, total value, right? The 800, 2,000 right there. So 8,000 gems is $100. Okay? So if we do the math here, so that single outfit right there is probably... Okay, if we just look at a 2,000 outfit, that's basically $25, right? So if we just look at the, I believe there's a 1,200 pack somewhere. So 2,000 gems right there is $25. Okay. So it's probably what, about $18? Okay, let's look at gems here. So $20 for 1,200 gems. If we go to the skins, I think the most I've seen it go up to is about pretty close to $20. So just the cheapest outfit in Girls Frontline is worth the same price as the maximum value outfit on Azure Lane. And the most valued outfit on Girls Frontline, okay, that being these that are 600 pulls, which is basically about, 5,400? I'm just going to say 6,000 tokens just to make my life a little easier. Okay? Again, it's 600 gems for 100 tokens. Okay? Right there. Okay? So you're looking at 36,000 gems for one outfit. Now, yes, you do get tokens every day, just like your gacha tickets. But if you're just looking at like a purchasing value, that's $400. Yeah, that's $400 for one outfit. Actually, no, that's $450 for one outfit. Now, I want to make another point, but I'm going to have to go over to Hunky for that. So I'm going to cut the video right here, and I'll talk to you guys in a second. All right, so let's try to take about 5 minutes for this, okay? So the reason why I want to come over to Hunky is because, for one, you get 210 gems a month for Girls Frontline. You get 250 crystals here, plus another 150 on the other side. Okay, do you know how many crystals that is? That's 400 just for monthly logins, okay? You get 45 crystals a day, every day, okay? So you can do the math on that. That's basically 450 times 3. So you're looking at what? Basically almost 1,500. I think it's like, what, 1,350? So you add on the 400, that's basically 1,700 crystals. Okay. And then if we go to a more free-to-play spot on the Abyss, that's 220 gems, because you're also going to include these 100 for finishing all the maps. Okay. And then you get 100 from a more arena. Now, Abyss resets twice a week. So that's 440 additional crystals every week, plus that making it 540 every week. Okay? So you're looking at an additional 2,000 gems. So we're basically already looking at, what? Pretty close to basically 4,000 crystals per month. Okay? And then we go over to Elysian Realm that was just added. Assuming you're strong enough, look at all these additional crystals that you can get. And they just added this, okay? Which means they made it a little easier for newer players to get through the game, okay? Not counting that you can sometimes get crystals out of the open world. I've usually seen it on Skastel at headquarters right there, that sometimes you can get 70 crystals for free pretty easily. What can you use crystals on? Oh, I don't know. Refreshes, just like Azur Lane and Girls Frontline. Gacha system. If you're playing CN Honky Impact, you can buy gacha tickets ahead of time. You can also buy free-to-play outfits, which albeit just change the color palette, but there you go. You can buy more outfits. And guess what you don't need in Guess what you don't need in Honky that you need in Azur Lane and Girls Frontline? Slot space. Honky Impact, you do not need slot space, which is free crystals for you. Even in Genshin, you do not need slot space. And for units, just like in Arknights, you don't need additional slot space for them either. So for both cases, you don't need anything else for that. Dark Summoner gives you additional slot space for free as well. Albeit you have to wait for it, and if you don't feel like waiting for it, then you can buy it. But they give it to you entirely for free. So again, you're saving your gacha currency because you don't need that. Girls Frontline and Azur Lane, you need unit slots. And for Girls Frontline, you also need equipment slots. Because unlike Azur Lane, the equipment doesn't get reduced when you put it on a T-Doll. Which means you either increase your equipment slots or you start switching them between all your T-Dolls. Which basically means, oh, you got to use meta. Does anybody not see a problem with this? Now, you might be saying, oh, but getting units in Honky is pretty difficult. Okay? Now, for free-to-play players, maybe subtract like a couple units right here. But, no. A ranks, you can entirely farm for right here. Right? Or even right here, you can farm for A ranks. Some of the S ranks are entirely farmable right here. Okay? And then the rest, you have the gacha pool. So this is why Honky is even better than Genshin Impact, because you can actually farm for units without having to pull for them at all. Not counting being able to farm some of their weapons as well. Right here. Just like Azur Lane. Azur Lane, every single piece of equipment has to be farmed. Okay. So this is why I call Honky Impact even more free to play than Girls Frontline and Azur Lane, because you don't have to buy slots. You're pretty much only spending your crystals on units, refreshes, or outfits. So your crystals can actually go to where they need to go, not to all this additional crap at the beginning of the game. Girls Frontline community, do you finally see my point? Probably not, because I put this at the end of the video. Maybe I should actually include this part at the beginning of the video. And if I do, then I'll see you guys over in Girls Frontline and Azur Lane in a minute. Okay? Anyways, that being said, I hope y'all finally get my point now. And with that, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.